Ever think about guiding those bright sparks at university? Today, we're diving deep into university teaching assistant interviews and how RoleCatcher can help you totally own it.
You know, it's more than just a job, right? It's a chance to actually shape how these future academics, these scholars, learn and grow.
Absolutely. And RoleCatcher gives us some seriously good guides, not just on what the job is, but what these interviewers really want to see.
It's about getting those little things in their questions and answering in a way that shows, yeah, you know your stuff, but you're also passionate about teaching. You want to see students succeed.
Totally. Before we get into the real nitty-gritty of these interview questions, anything stand out to you from RoleCatcher's career guide?
Honestly, the thing that struck me was how much the demand for university teaching assistants is growing. It's in the guide. And it really hit me. This is important. This prep is crucial. It's a tough field to crack.
Like they say, prep is everything. RoleCatcher gave us 10 of those classic interview questions. Should we jump in? First one seems almost too easy. Can you tell us about your previous teaching experience?
Deceptively simple, right? It's not about listing every role you've ever had. They're trying to get a feel for your teaching style. Have you taught before, even if it wasn't in a classroom? Did you love it?
What about someone who hasn't actually been, like, a teacher? How do they tackle that one?
Transferable skills? Did you explain something complex to someone? Mentored a colleague, maybe? Facilitated group discussions, anything like that. Volunteering as a tutor, leading training sessions, even just helping a classmate understand something tricky, it all counts.
Amazing examples. RoleCatcher lets you actually record your answers and get feedback, all powered by AI. On your body language, how clear you sound. It's like a personal coach right there in the software.
Game changer, especially if you're someone who gets those interview jitters.
Okay, question 2 from RoleCatcher's list. How would you handle a student who is struggling in your class? This feels like a potential tripwire to me.
Right. And that's why they ask it. They're looking for empathy for those problem-solving skills. Do you care about your students? Would you just tell them to study harder? Or are you going to step up, be proactive, really help them?
So what would a good answer sound like?
A good answer would touch on offering extra help, being able to change up how you teach to fit different learning styles, making it clear you want a supportive environment where students can actually ask for help.
Love it. The guide also mentions that being a TA can get pretty full on. Deadlines, grading, it's a lot.
Definitely. Which is probably why question 3 is, how do you stay organized and manage your time effectively?
They're looking for someone who can handle the heat, clearly. What are some things to focus on when you answer this one?
This is your moment to show off how organized you are. Do you use a planner religiously? Set realistic deadlines. Break those huge tasks down into smaller chunks. What about productivity tools? Are you a tech whiz? Mention those.
It reminds me, talking about organization, RoleCatcher has this AI CV builder. It actually helps you tailor your CV to the job, putting those organization skills front and center.
Exactly. It's about showing off the right skills in a way that the employer instantly connects with.
All right, ready for number 4 from RoleCatcher.
Yeah.
Bit of a curveball. How do you handle conflicts with students or colleagues?
Diplomacy time. This one's about showing you can resolve conflicts, stay professional, even when things are tricky.
So less I tell them where to go, and more. What?
More like, I believe in open communication, active listening, finding a solution that works for everyone. Don't shy away from mentioning de-escalation skills, finding common ground, staying positive.
Got it. Diplomacy is key. The career guide also mentioned that the workload can be intense for TAs. Did it have any tips on dealing with that?
Oh yeah, it's stressed, setting boundaries, knowing how to prioritize tasks.
Wow.
And don't be afraid to ask for help from colleagues, supervisors, that kind of thing.
Super important. Burnout is real. You need to know how to manage all that or you'll burn out fast.
Since we were on workload, maybe we tackle question 5 from RoleCatcher. It's, how do you approach creating lesson plans for your classes? This one really lets you talk about how you teach, your philosophy.
Oh, this is where I geek out a bit. Lesson planning, love it. What should people focus on when they answer this one?
Think about showcasing how well you understand learning objectives, how you assess students, all those different teaching methods. Do you bring in active learning? How would you keep students engaged? Tailor things to their learning style?
It's more than just dumping information, right? It's about making it a whole experience.
100%. And don't be afraid to get into specifics. If you're applying to a university that's known for a certain way of teaching, mention that. Show them you get it. Your approach fits.
Do your research, as they say. RoleCatcher's AI is actually pretty cool for this. It analyzes what you say, helps you tailor it to the actual job description. Wild.
It's true. It's about picking out the skills and experience that really matter for the role. Makes you look so much better to the people hiring.
Question 6. RoleCatcher style. Super relevant these days. How do you incorporate technology and multimedia into your teaching?
This is where you prove you're tech savvy, that you get how technology can make students learn better. This is your chance.
So, more than just knowing how to turn a computer on.
Way more. You want to show you're comfortable with all kinds of educational tech. Learning management systems, those online collaboration tools, multimedia presentations, the whole 9 yards.
Bonus points if you can talk about tools they actually use at that university or department, right?
The huge bonus points. It shows you did your research, you're already thinking about how you fit in tech-wise.
Time for something that might sound a bit, well, boring. But it's important. How do you approach grading and providing feedback to students?
This one goes straight to how you assess students, how you help them grow with your feedback. Fairness, transparency, those are key.
No more grading papers at 2:00 a.m., drowning in coffee, asking for a friend.
Haven't we all been there? But for the interview, focus on giving feedback that's actually helpful and doing it on time. Do you use rubrics, detailed comments, one-on-one meetings maybe? Tell them about your process.
And any tools you use to make grading easier, faster. Tech is our friend here too.
Totally. Tons of universities use learning management systems. They've got grading and feedback built right in. Knowing that stuff is a huge plus.
Organized, tech-savvy, helping students all in one.
Exactly. Now, this next one from RoleCatcher can be a bit daunting. Can you tell us about a time when you had to handle a difficult situation in the classroom?
Ooh, getting real.
Right. But remember, they don't want you to be perfect. Nobody is. They want to know how you handle things when they go wrong. Do you learn from it?
So what does a good answer look like? What should we say?
Pick a situation, a real one that you handled well. Talk them through it. What happened? What was so tough about it? What did you do? What did you learn from it?
So it's almost like turning a negative into a positive. You're showing off your skills by talking about a problem.
You got it. Even better if you can connect that experience back to the job description, the skills they want.
RoleCatcher's next question is so important now. How do you ensure that your teaching is inclusive and accessible to all students?
This is all about diversity, equity, inclusion, making everyone feel welcome and supported in your classroom. Big one these days.
So it's not enough to just say, oh, I treat all students equally.
It's a starting point, sure, but they want to see you're actively thinking about how to make things inclusive.
Like, what are some real things someone could talk about that show they get it, they live it?
Using inclusive language is a good one. Bringing diverse views into what you're teaching. Being flexible, changing up how you teach so everyone can learn. Making sure your materials are accessible. All those things matter.
It's about going that extra mile, making sure everyone feels like they belong and can learn no matter what. RoleCatcher's last question is about something so key for any teacher, especially at university. How do you stay up to date with developments in your field?
They want to know you're passionate. Yeah, but that you actually keep learning, growing professionally. It's a lifelong thing.
So not just, I read books, I'm guessing.
Books are great, but they want to see you're really in it. Conferences, maybe you've presented research, done workshops, online courses even, to keep those skills sharp.
Shows you're on top of things, bringing those fresh ideas to your students.
Exactly. And before we finish up here, I really want to say again how helpful RoleCatcher stuff is. Those career guides are gold. And their AI tools. So smart, they can help you nail your CV, practice your answers.
They really did think of everything. Getting those answers just right, understanding the questions. RoleCatcher's got your back.
They really do. That kind of prep, it makes a difference. You go into that interview confident, you show them what you're about, you're way more likely to get that teaching assistant job you want.
Couldn't agree more. Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the world of university teaching assistant interviews. We tackled those tough questions, learned a ton from RoleCatcher's guides, and even saw how their AI can give you a real edge.
Remember, the more prepared you are, the more confident you'll feel. So go into that interview excited, ready to share your passion for teaching. You got this.
And check out RoleCatcher. They've got what you need to shine. Best of luck, everyone, and catch you next time for another deep dive.